Hey y'all, welcome to Reflecting Divinity. My name's Jamie. I'm an intuitive reader, and today's Pick a Card Tarot and Oracle reading is about the retrogrades that the planets are in, either right now or coming up here pretty soon. And if you are unaware of what a retrograde is, it's when a planet, to us, from our perspective, looking into the sky, it appears to be slowing down or even moving backwards. And so I am not an astrologer, but from what I've read is that retrogrades are a time for reflection and for things from the past to make a reoccurrence in some way. So things from the past can show up, and we may need to slow down in some ways and deal with things coming up from the past, making a revisitation or something. So what Spirit was bringing through is that these messages will be around retrograde revelations. And I knew that there were messages coming through sort of around shifting timelines, and it only became clear to me through an experience where something from my past, as far as an interest or a hobby, came roaring back into my life. And as I've gotten back into it, I can feel what it was like for me in the past, but now how it feels for me in the present, and it has shifted. And so now I am questioning, okay, am I going to move forward with this? Am I going to bring it with me into the future? Because it feels different this time around. So when I questioned this, and I shared my experience with my friends, they also experienced this, a resurgence of an interest or hobby, as well as like an old relationship that had fallen by the wayside, kind of coming back and sparking to life in a new way. So in posing this and questioning this with Spirit, it was kind of like a knock on the side of the head, like, oh, it's the retrograde. This is what's coming through. So I have messages for each pile, with pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. I've brought through messages in meditation, and we're also going to be looking at tarot and oracle cards. This is the Quantum Oracle, and we're going to start with that. So I will just say you can take time to tap into pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3 to see which one is calling out to you, that you are drawn to. And just know that all my readings, I consider them to be timeless, and whenever you come across them is the perfect time for you. And just know that they are general readings, so take what resonates, release the rest. Take everything with a grain of salt. The future is not set in stone. And this is an offering for you to use your intuition to guide you. So on that note, I look forward to seeing you at your selected reading. Hi, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. I'm going to go ahead and give you what came through in meditation for you. So Pile 1, the first thing that I felt when tapping into your energy was a growth of the solar plexus energy, and this was coming through as a bright yellow growing out of a light green, maybe what you would consider to be earth energy or heart chakra energy. And it was a feeling of confidence. And I also saw stargazing. I saw the night sky filled with stars, and the message of old dreams and desires resurrecting. So these old dreams and desires are coming back, but in this retrograde time, there will be a new relationship that you have with those dreams, because you are seeing the blueprint now. You are connecting the dots, like drawing lines between the stars and revealing the plans that are laid out before you. And you now feel your full power behind those dreams. The retrograde, what Spirit is saying, is for getting in touch with these dreams and desires again and creating a new foundation and strategy with them moving forward. So you're getting to know these dreams again, pile one, and it feels like not just a new foundation and strategy, but a very intimate time with these dreams. I felt nurturing energy. I heard the word caressing. So definitely very intimate, heart level. Potentially it has to do with romance or a connection with someone else, but it could also just be really getting to know something in your life relating to your dreams and desires from the past that are coming back. They're coming back into play now. I also got the message that you are integrating your experiences for development of the self. And so the sort of metaphor that came through for you from Spirit was that instead of just carrying around your experiences in a bag as if they're a burden or kind of off to the side, they're not really a part of you, you're just carrying them around, you are now actually integrating them. This is the time during the retrograde to start putting them, it's almost like putting them to work. They're becoming a part of you and helping you. So the experiences are almost being extracted, like the helpful parts are being extracted from the experiences and integrated. So you're doing some lightening up here, and Spirit's last message for you was to think, and not think, but to center from your heart first, then your mind. So even though you are maybe strategizing and getting in touch with plans in relationship to your desires and dreams, the importance is to come from the heart first. So I want to go ahead and just look at what cards you have from the Quantum Oracle to see what's coming up for you. So we have intention, playing it safe. We have people, the loving woman. We have cycle, new beginnings. We have intention, behind a mask. And lastly, we have events, milestone. Yeah, so the first thing here is I'm seeing kind of a progression. I'm seeing that caressing and the nurturing here with the loving woman. Perhaps that's you, or perhaps that's someone in your life that is coming up for you in this time of retrogrades, because there's an element here where I feel like you have felt like you needed to play it safe. That you can't face those dreams and desires in the past. You couldn't face them. You couldn't take that risk. And so you played it safe. And that part of you that perhaps had some fear needs some nurturing and caressing. Because there is a very vulnerable feeling here with new beginnings, the potential for those dreams and desires that you have, and moving forward in a new cycle, in a new beginning. You will benefit from taking this time during the retrograde to do some of that inner work, perhaps inner child work, getting really connected with the part of you that had those dreams and desires in the first place, and the part of you that couldn't take those steps, couldn't take the risk, couldn't handle all that came with those dreams and desires in the first place. And you're nurturing that part of yourself. This is the time to do this work and bring some healing to yourself, to that part of yourself. And with feeling that solar plexus energy, you're building up the confidence to release that mask, because it feels like because you had to play it safe, or you felt like you had to play it safe, you've been living behind a mask. You've been hiding yourself away in some way. But now with this new beginning, this potential new beginning, you're bringing back those dreams and desires, and the retrograde will be a time for you to figure out how to release that mask. And again, I feel like it's through nurturing. It's through becoming intimate and focusing in on the heart and feeling the confidence from the solar plexus building up and supporting the heart, rather than thinking it through initially. Because the logic won't get you there. And again, you're taking those past experiences and making them work for you. But in an odd way, it's like you have to kind of shed parts of yourself that may feel more grown in some way. And then the part of yourself that is moving toward the dreams and desires is going to feel more vulnerable, right? It's going to need some of that nurturing with the baby in this card. I feel like I am hearing you are deserving of love. You are capable of love. You are capable of a relationship. Honestly, this feels like it could be a dream to be married, to have children, to take that step that feels maybe like you could never achieve that in your life for whatever reason. There's some limiting belief about what you are deserving of, what you're worthy of, or that you have to kind of be someone else. You have to wear this mask because someone won't love you for who you are. And that's just not the case. And I think this retrograde is a time to resurrect that dream of connection. But now you are seeing what is necessary for those plans, for those dreams. It's actually like being your authentic self and getting there through some self-love work, some self-esteem work, some really foundational core work with the parts of you that have held you back. Because what Spirit's saying is this is absolutely possible. And I feel like you've seen other people reach these milestones and you felt behind or incapable of getting to these same sort of milestones, and Spirit's saying you are absolutely capable of this. It is just coming down to your core sense of self. I just want to pull a few tarot cards to get any more information related to these thoughts and ideas and experiences that are coming up. I do feel like for some of you, it would be helpful to have a counselor or therapist, someone who can show you that nurturing or show you how to embody that and really implement it moving forward, to help your confidence grow. Yeah, just had the Fool fall out. So you have the Two of Wands and you have the Fool. And the Two of Wands is dreaming and thinking about new plans, right? And starting to feel that inspiration, that dream, that desire, but not necessarily taking the step forward, just kind of contemplating it. But the Fool is jumping in. The Fool is trusting the universe. And so it's developing that trust within yourself. Just had the Three of Wands fly out for you. So that is actually setting the ships out to sea. It is taking that step from the Two of Wands to the Three of Wands. And it feels like just having ultimate trust and faith in the universe. It feels like with the Three of Wands, it feels a little bit like you set your dreams and desires out, and there's a bit of a fear. There's like, oh, what happens? What if it fails? What if I fail? And Spirit is saying to keep releasing that, because there is truly no failure. It's just another step, another step, another step. And you have to go through this sense of what we call failure to discover what it is you truly want and how it's going to work out. I mean, that's the planning and strategizing. It's like seeing what works and what doesn't. That's what the integrating is. It's like, well, what was helpful about that and what wasn't? Okay, so I feel like Spirit's saying, let it go. Let it go. This is the time to figure out how to let things go and to trust. Pile 1. So I have been shuffling the angel prayers oracle cards. So let's see what came out for you. Okay, we have express your creativity. Thank you, angels, for helping me to express my inner creator. Yeah, the retrograde is a safe place to start playing with your creative power, because it does feel like those dreams and desires are something very, again, intimate and a part of you that are ready to be expressed in some way. So it could be that creative energy that you hold, your creativity, that you just have not felt safe to put that out into the world. Just want to see if there's one more. Okay, so we just had change and transition, Archangel Azrael. Thank you, Azrael, for leading me safely through this change. You're being supported. You're being guided. You are not alone. You are safe. You're being held. And like I'm seeing what looks like stars here, because this is your blueprint. There is some element here of like, this is your your destiny. This is in the plans. That's why these dreams and desires are bubbling up for you, pile 1. So there is, again, that element of trust. But when you take that first step, you're going to realize it's not so bad. Again, just nurture yourself through it. Give yourself time. And you'll start to peel away those layers that aren't you and see that it's not so bad to put yourself out there, to express yourself. And this is a big change. This is a manifestation. This is like the prime time to seed that manifestation, that change and transition. And it's not that it won't be easy, but it can be tough. Change and transition can be tough, like the Death card in the tarot. But you have the Fool, which is a lightening up. It's less of the Death card and more of a leap of faith. But that doesn't mean it's just pure ease. But Spirit's saying, don't be afraid of that because you are being supported. So we just had the Activations Oracle card of Cosmic Flower. The frequency of Cosmic Flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. And that is what you're being called to do. This is a blossoming. This is a going back to those dreams and desires that feels like home base for you in some way. And it's about remembering and feeling that you are safe within those dreams moving forward. And there is, again, that element of pouring your magnificence out into the world and expressing yourself, expressing your creativity, your creative power. You are powerful, and it's kind of about getting back to that powerful place within yourself. Pile 1. So let's go ahead. I'm going to just pull you a final card from the Black Moon astrology just to see how, at an astrological level, what could be influencing you in this time of retrograde, so that you know what you need to work with, what is there to be utilized, and what may be challenging for you. But ultimately, it's kind of what needs to be cleared out and moved through to make this progress, to have this new beginning, this new cycle. For some of you, it may be that you have some sort of event that you go to, like a wedding or something, and this is what reignites your dreams. It gets you thinking, reminiscing, going back to a time where you chose to not follow through on something, but now you realize that you are ready, you are capable of feeling ready and being ready for the dreams and desires this time around. It just was taking some time to develop in other ways. That's all it is. It's not failure. It's not anything like that. I just want to reiterate, it's about approaching from a new place within yourself. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we have Yod, Yod, Destiny 48. Not sure how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. Let me just pull it up here in the book. So, the ancients believed that the Yod was an area of fate in the chart, and not a particularly favorable one. Also called the Eye of God or the Finger of God, the Yod is a peculiar astrological configuration in a chart. It is a triangle formed by two planets 60 degrees apart, while both are 150 degrees from a third planet. This creates a thin, pie-shaped aspect. The Yod configuration is linked to the Hebrew alphabet. Yod, or Yud, is the 10th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which has mystical implications, signifying the omnipresence of God, and often denoting humility, because the energy is locked in that triangular configuration, causing matters to be fated and often difficult, but not without their rewards. Yod configuration is influential and implies that there is a disruptive force at work. In a sense, this astrological placement of planets is somewhat in exile from the other planetary energies because they are not harmonious with each other and therefore cause tension. This can bring about feelings of intense stress and restriction. There can also be a sense of being different, feeling alone, and of being out of step with others at times. A Yod in a natal chart can even indicate being the black sheep of the family. When the Yod card presents itself in a reading, it means that the situation may be chaotic or may soon turn that way. It will be hard to see any clear path because of this chaos, but it will be important to weather through it all. This is not always bad, because it is a process of finding what works and what isn't functioning. And now will be the time to be scaling things down and weeding out what is unnecessary. But more than that, this card is about finding your own truth, even though the truth may not be reflected through others. You may wish for more support when this card comes up, and will have to manage this all on your own. Another development may turn up, and that is you will prefer to work it out on your own without any interference from others. This card can denote a time to voyage inward and come to your own truth. There really isn't anyone who will have the tools to figure this out more so than you at this time. So now may not be the best time to take advice from others. Your inner knowing has it already. You just have to take the time to process the information to come to your own answers. More positively, this card means that circumstances are good for achieving your goal, but be prepared for sacrifices on your part, and not just one but several. It will not be an easy path, but it is a time to expand your focus. You have a desire for greater awareness which will come through dedication, but patience and adaptability are necessary in making this situation work to fulfill your greater purpose, the one you were born for. So this is beautiful, pile 1, because again, it may not feel easy, it may be a challenge, but you're now ready for this. And I really feel like the time where you could not find the reflection in others has already passed, and now you may have to do this work somewhat alone, but it's not totally on your own. I feel like you can go to others like a counselor or therapist because they're going to help you help yourself. I feel like that's the important part, is that ultimately you are doing this work because only you know your destiny. And so working with someone who can just reflect that back to you, for you to get in touch with your higher self, to move forward. And again, that part of scaling things down and weeding out what is unnecessary, that's that bag of experiences that you're figuring out, okay, what do I want to integrate and what do I need to release? And this will help you out so much as you move forward. And again, it's in the blueprint. It's laid out for you. And it's just a matter of kind of nurturing yourself through this, coming from the heart and getting again to that authentic core self, getting to the truth of you. Yeah, it's time to put yourself out there, pile one. It may feel vulnerable, but it is worth it. It is worth it to go through this now, to reach that milestone, to reach that goal, to put your ships to sea and go through this great change, because you are blossoming, you are growing. You're not who you were in the past now. So you're really getting to rework and level up into your dreams and desires. Whereas before it felt like you had to give them up. But now I really feel like your dreams and desires, they're going to be working for you now. Pile one. So I hope this reading was helpful for you in some way. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, then hit that subscribe button. But I wish you all the best. I give you my love. Until next time, bye, Pile One. Hi, reading 2. I want to go ahead and give you the messages that came through for you in meditation. So the first thing I saw for you, Pile 2, is a deep purple violet color. This was coming in as an energy, and it had to do with physical health and healing. And Spirit was showing me and telling me that it's a healing at a cellular level. It's a restructuring. Whether this is literal or a metaphor, it feels like it differs for each person. And I also want to say that while it could be a physical health issue, it could also be an emotional health issue, or both. So what it felt like is that maybe during this time of retrograde, there might be a flare up, but when this issue flares up, it's an opportunity for you to bring your new awareness and intention to clear it out. And this feels like for good. There's some sort of clearing out, cleansing, clean slate, that when you do this, when you bring your awareness and intention to it, it feels like one of the first times you are able to do this fully, and it won't have power over you anymore. So in that sense, you are clearing it out. It won't control you anymore. You're taking your power back. And this is because you can see into the source of the pain and eliminate it at an emotional level. So that's where it kind of comes in, that it's not just a physical thing. It may have physical like manifestation. You can tell it's happening at a physical level, but it feels like more importantly, as far as our healing work is concerned, is the emotional level. And I do feel like for some of you, writing letters to yourself or to other people to release this trapped energy, because that's what it feels like. This thing that's flaring up is coming from a source of trapped energy, and it's the cause of the dis-ease is what Spirit was telling me, because it's not necessarily a disease or an illness. It's like, again, dis-ease within you. And so when you release it in this way, at this emotional, energetic level, it can no longer take root, and you then are removing its food, its fuel. And this, Spirit was saying, is about forgiving yourself at some level. And they showed me a diamond of light being received in your heart. And this diamond light felt very solid. It had a solidity to it and a grounding energy to it. But it had some sort of energy or ability to enhance connection. And so it felt like more speed, more accuracy for connectivity with other people and spirit. It almost felt like upgrading wiring or upgrading the internet speed or something. And in some sense, this is like resurrecting yourself, pile 2. So let's go ahead and get into the Quantum Oracle cards to see what is coming up for you in this time of a retrograde. So first thing we have is energy, fear. We have consciousness, happy, success. We have cycle, increase. We have energy, courage. And we have events, conflict. Okay. So first thing I'm being drawn to is the conflict and that sense of a flare-up. I feel like potentially you are a person who avoids conflict. But in avoiding conflict with other people, that conflict takes hold of you. It resides in you as internal struggle, as internal conflict. And I feel like this comes from fear. And I am feeling it's related to other people and connecting with other people and speaking the truth to other people and fearing that loss of connection. So even a struggling, like a bad connection where not what it feels like is other people in your life are getting more from you than you get from them. So going back to internet, it's like the internet speed. Your internet speed is very slow for yourself from them. Okay. There's conflict because there's a part of you that feels like you need to address this, but you're afraid that you're going to lose if you move forward in this healing process, that maybe it'll get worse. And so what Spirit's saying is like, well, that initial step may feel like it gets a little bit worse before it gets better. There's a little bit of intensity that has to be worked through. Those emotions have to come up. The symptoms have to come up. And instead of squashing them down, it's about letting them out. And that is scary. But you will have the opportunity to really tap in to courage and that ability to feel fear and do it anyways. And so Spirit's saying there's not only success, but like an increasing level of success here. And up leveling as far as what feels like career, manifesting what you want in life in regards to status, in regards to where you want to live, what you want to wear. I mean, it's the very physical, worldly things that we encounter at the human level. And all it takes is courage to stand up and ask for what you want as well as what you need. And that first step is what you need. Because there's, again, that emotional healing, and it feels like that's what it is. The emotions that haven't been expressed, that have been tamped down, that are kind of festering and need releasing. You, in some way, keeping them down has been feeding them. They're still there. And it may be scary to release them and bring them up into the light. But that's what it feels like may just happen naturally with this retrograde time frame, is that they're going to come up on their own. And so if you're aware and you bring your intention and awareness to it, it will be much easier, because this is part of the cycle. And to get back into that sense of like increase and progression and growth, you have to like clear the slate, and that lays the foundation for the success, for your happiness. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull a few tarot cards to just bring a little bit more information to this reading for you. I mean, really, you're getting your power back. Like, I just look at the contrast between fear and happy success. And the body language with her crouched over and tucked in and holding herself in, and then happy success being open-armed and looking up. And just figuring out how to embody that. And again, I feel like it's releasing. It's, even if you're writing letters to others, you don't have to share it with them. It's just to get it out. And again, forgive yourself for any part that you had in it. And that will up-level your heart to connect with others at a deeper level, at a more authentic level. Your true self is coming up, and therefore that connection, right, is more accurate with other people and what you want. And I thought it was one flipping over, but there's actually two. So we have the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, again, that physical element, that earth element of the pentacle, of money, of success in that realm. That's what's coming up for you, that potential. So there's movement here. I am feeling the Eight of Wands as that movement, as that drive and energy that you may have to tap into, that courage to process the emotions and not allowing them to stay stagnant, but to move them through. I feel like this is one that wants to come out. Conflict, yeah. Okay, so there is something here about other people. When you go to like in your courage to start to process this and release it and make yourself known in some way at an emotional level, at an authentic emotional level, other people may be up in arms over it. They may take it as a threat, and I wonder if that's where you've kept yourself hidden in that fear. But it's not about them. Well, it is about them. That's their issue, and it's about them. But you are not meant to sacrifice yourself so others can kind of maintain their status quo and not do their own work. So whoever that is for, that feels somewhat specific, but you can't sacrifice who you are and your potential success and happiness, which feels very real and attainable for you, pile 2. But it just can't happen from this place of fear. But it feels like once you get moving, once you get releasing and really letting these emotions out, things are going to get so much easier and the path is going to appear. And that success of doing that and like seeing a new horizon in front of you, it's going to feel so good. And that will be encouragement enough to keep moving forward, and it's going to outweigh the fear. There may be something that comes up where you tap into some courage to get into conflict where you normally wouldn't, but it's for everyone else's good, not just yours, right? It's for your own good, but it also, if you stand up for yourself, you face that fear, you stand up for yourself, and you expect more from others, it helps them be better too. It helps them feel more confident as well, even if they can't recognize it in the moment. But I feel this energetically will shift not just you, but others as well, because you're being authentic in that. You are setting an example, is what it seems like. And yeah, it's a lot and it can feel overwhelming, but it will lead to much more solidity for you. It's about not holding the emotions in place. Again, this is movement. This is a processing. Those wands aren't going to be up in the air forever. It's just a matter of like holding on to that faith and knowing that the rockiness is going to pass. It's just about kind of standing your ground and keeping your balance in that meantime. And that's what this retrograde is for. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get a couple cards from the Angel Prayers deck. Okay, that's too many. Just need one more. Okay. So we have Clear Your Vibes, Archangel Metatron. Thank you, Metatron, for clearing my energy field. Yeah. And so you can call on Metatron to assist you in that, in finding those spaces within you where the energy is stagnant and it needs to be cleared up. It needs to be brushed up so it can be swept out, right? It's kind of like gathering it together. You can see the mess building, but then you can sweep it up and get rid of it, release it. So that's a bit like what it feels like to do this work, pile 2. And then we have Honor Your Beauty, Archangel Jophiel. Thank you, Jophiel, for helping me discover my inner beauty and outer beauty. That's interesting because it could be, again, kind of going back to that sense I was getting about the way you present yourself, what you do, what you wear, how you act, your status, that type of thing. That, in and of itself isn't negative or bad. I feel like it can get like a bad connotation, especially from the spiritual perspective. But we are here to live the human existence and experience what it is to be, physically embodied in this way. And so Jophiel, again, is about helping you see yourself for who you truly are, and that you as a spirit embodied, it's inherently beautiful. And so I feel like this is about your unique way that you show up in the world. And Jophiel can help you with that. Have the courage to show up as you, the way you want to be seen. And the first step is that inner beauty that the retrograde is allowing you to get to that recognition, and then really embody it and like put it on display for the world. Because there's something here that when you are able to do this, other people benefit by that connection you have with yourself, then translates into connection with others. Again, this is kind of like a resurrection. It's a rebirth for you, pile 2. All right, so I've just pulled a card from the Activations Oracle. So we have Divine Feminine. The frequency of Divine Feminine supports our receptive, nurturing, and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect to our intrinsic understanding of our connection to all of creation. Yeah, it's that ability to open and be in the flow rather than trapped and like clamped down energetically. Feels like that's what the retrograde is about for you, is like opening up, seeing what's out there, and that connection. I also feel this is connected to Archangel Jophiel for sure, the Divine Feminine, and the beauty of the Divine Feminine, and the contrast to the Divine Masculine energy. And I'm feeling like the expansion of the Divine Feminine energy, the kind of natural unfolding that's gentle, it can be like this for you, pile 2, rather than the conflict, rather than like the butting heads. It's more like things unfolding in time. And so if you hold this intention and come from that aspect and finding the connection with others, there's going to be more ease here. So I understand like it's a bit tricky because it can feel like it's going to be overpowering any ability to be in that like calmer energy, but it can be like this because you have a greater perspective now and can bring that intention into this healing work, into your relationships with others. I want to just pull a final message from the Black Moon Astrology card deck to see astrologically what is influencing you in particular as far as this retrograde. Just getting a little bit clearer on this. So let's see. Taurus, I have. So Taurus energy, it's that earthy, very grounded energy, but it's also like the bull. That's interesting. You have the conflict here twice, and that kind of hard-headedness, that head-on energy. So let's get into it and see where this is coming up for you, how it's coming up for you. Okay, so Taurus, you are about to grow something from which there will be beauty and abundance. Yeah, increase, beauty. Oh my gosh. Pile 2, I'm so excited for you. Taurus natives are ruled by Venus, the planet of loveliness and indulgence. They tend to be down to earth, but have a special eye for attractiveness and always have a need for luxury. Practical matters rule first with Taurus, taking care of the home and all the comforts before they move on toward what they truly love, which is pondering the meaning of their fates. As spiritual masters and teachers, they never completely stray away from what is real and solid ground. Yet, in their own way, they can be dreamy. Sign of the gentle gardener, Taurus people take time with feet firmly planted on the ground. They must be certain about everything before choosing what comes next. The world of Taurus is the world of the senses, food, fabric, color, skin, and very sumptuous they are. They are fond of lovely things and place great value on money. Most Taurians only believe what they can see or touch. Yet many gurus are born under the sign of the bull, so that means they're spiritual too, but tend to be dismissive over subjects they don't know much about. They have a conservative nature, so often must be convinced. They consider themselves realists. That said, Taurus is a sign that rules the fairy worlds. So contact with fairies or elementals is possible when this card turns up in a reading. You may have fairy dreams or even build a fairy home or garden. Sensing fairy presences is also possible. When this card comes up in a reading, money issues will have bearing on the matter, whether obvious or not so obvious. Bank accounts, counting change, accumulating funds, any matter to do with finances will come into play. It is a fortunate time to ask for a loan, a raise in pay, or to buy into stocks. It is also a good time to become involved in accounting or matters dealing with numbers and currency. The sign of Taurus symbolizes a sensuous nature, sex, food, and comforts. So a passionate lover may be on the horizon and long and fervent love-making sessions may be in store. You may connect with a paramour who wishes to take care of you or vice versa. The desire for comfort and relaxation will be part of this relationship. It also indicates talents in the arts, especially singing and music. Matters involving plays, musicals, theater, concerts. Taurus, of course, is bullish, so you may encounter a few stubborn or obstinate individuals. Anything offbeat won't serve you at this time. Whatever you do now will take on a practical or conservative tone. It's always a positive sign, as it is highly stable and supportive. And Taurus, in a chart, stabilizes matters. Taurus is steady and reliable and hardly ever gets upset. One cannot rile a sensuous bull too easily, but if one does, the explosive results may be unforgettable. Okay, interesting. So, yeah, pile 2, that bull energy coming up. What it feels like is, you've kept it tamped down. Could be out of fear for what would happen if it was released. But it seems like, okay, that now is the time to release this. It's coming up for a reason, and it has to do with that very physical matter of earth energy and money and the way you live your life and present yourself. and the happiness there for you, the success there for you. So it is about having that courage, the courage of the bull. And you can balance it with the divine feminine. Like, I think that's what there is, this, the internal work at your own level, the forgiveness of yourself, and the good intention to have greater connection with others is what is allowing you to move into a little bit of conflict and brushing up some stuff with people or within yourself. But it's to clear it out. And it is getting cleared, and it's going to lead you down such a good path, pile 2. So I hope this reading was helpful for you in some way. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me in the future, then hit that subscribe button. But I wish you all the best, and I give you my love. Until next time, bye, pile 2. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and get into the messages that came through for you in meditation. So the first thing I saw for you, pile 3, was the blue flame and diamond light. So a lot of blue coming in, and this felt like it was igniting within you. And specifically, it felt like it was clearing out despair and grief, and that this had to do with your expression of yourself and revealing your authentic voice. And I also felt like Spirit was saying that you will be able to get in touch with your anger to release and transmute any hurt that has been held onto, and that you're ready to embody your creativity and expression at a deeper level, and that you're meant to be seen by others as well. This retrograde, what Spirit was saying, is a chance for you to soak in and absorb new things and new experiences. And this will allow your ideas to take shape. It's almost like I could see them kind of floating around in the ether and being very fluid and not having a full form to them yet. And so Spirit was saying that this cannot be forced, that the ideas need this time to amalgamize. I'm not even sure that's a word, but to come together and shapeshift to find their true form. And you are holding the space for the energies and ideas to come together, and you're holding this space without judgment. And that feels new, pile 3, that unjudgmental perspective. And so this means that there can be resolution and understanding. And in this resolution, the truth is revealed and actually known and understood at a depth that was not available before. I know it feels very abstract, so I hope that the cards will bring some clarity for you. So let's get into your quantum oracle cards to see what is coming up for you in this time of retrograde. Interesting. So far we have cycle, status quo, intention, discovery, cycle, transformation, intention, hidden motivations, and spirit, the healing light. Ooh, okay. This feels very much like an abstract, energetic transformation, pile 3. And that makes sense because for status quo being here, the first thing that I am relating it to is that just holding space without judgment and just allowing things to kind of play out around you. You don't have to necessarily do anything in particular or change anything or activate anything. It's more about just being in a neutral position. Now, there was a message around kind of feeling anger, and I feel like that would be good to get out before doing this deeper work. Because I do feel that for some of you, there could be pent up emotions and that anger hasn't been expressed. And that is going to be the judgmental part that will get in the way of this retrograde time. So this feels very much like diving in and discovering your voice, holding that intention, but without judgment, without resentment. That will be the initial process, is maybe getting in touch with your voice and expressing your voice through some frustration and anger. And without judgment, because so many times we are judged for having anger, but it's not about taking it out on someone else. It's just about releasing that energy of despair, of grief, because there is absolutely healing energy here. And with the healing lights, I'm connecting it to the blue flame and the diamond light that I felt was coming in and lighting you up from within. And that could be like ignition, fire, flame. That could have to do with that anger, with that energy of like just building up, that heat. There's something there that maybe in some sense it will rip through the status quo, but then it'll allow you to just be open to discovery. Because this is very much about intention and where you are with your energy and with your ideas. And I feel like maybe that's the ideas kind of floating in the ether and the energy around you and having them take form. You're figuring it out. This is something that's more within you than outside of you, pile 3, in that just allowing yourself this neutral space for discovery, for curiosity. Things will be revealed, and the time of retrograde, this is a perfect time. There's going to be a little bit more stillness, and so things from the past and ideas from the past may bubble up, and you're going to see them in a new light, and they're going to come together in new ways. It feels like you can take a kind of a stance a little bit farther back and just allow them to come together. Again, I feel like you're not having to force this. It's allowing for the transformation. Ultimately, this is all about transformation. This is a next cycle for you that is deeply, deeply healing. I keep feeling like you're going to feel like a new person in some way. And it could be that expression, your voice, how you talk. Maybe you sing. Maybe you are an artist, or you are an actor or aspiring. There's something about your authenticity of your ideas. There's creativity, but it can't be forced. I'm just pulling some tarot to get some more clarity on these things. So we have 10 of Wands. Ooh, we have Temperance. Yeah, okay, so again, status quo. I'm feeling with Temperance. There's just kind of like a give and take. Things are coming together. Things are being alchemized. Things are being transmuted. There's a mixing of oil and water, and it's taking time and being non-judgmental, knowing that this is for the greater good for you and others, to take this time to transform. And I'm relating status quo also to the 10 of Wands, in that sense of needing to stop and take a breath, that there's been something you've been carrying, and it could be related again to the grief, to the despair, to the anger that has been weighing you down, like the 10 of Wands. There's a weighing down, and that needs to be released and just opened up. And even just stillness and status quo is a very healing opportunity that the retrograde is bringing in. Yeah, the Four of Swords was kind of sticking out. It's like, okay. So yeah, healing, rest. Not taking heavy action, not forcing anything. This is a time in this retrograde to really get clear, get to a place of non-judgment for yourself and others, to allow healing energy and light into your field, into your energetic field, into your body, into your heart, and just allowing. I feel like you are highly intuitive, and you can tap in meditation and just open up like to spirit and say, hey, what do I need to see? What's coming together? And it's just that. It really feels like that's kind of where you're meant to be, and just be in that energy, just allowing it, soaking it in. Again, like you're soaking in, you're absorbing ideas and experiencing new things without having to force anything. I don't know why I keep having to say, like, don't force it. It won't be helpful for you. It will feel like that 10 of Wands. So when you catch yourself in that energy of the 10 of Wands, it's your kind of signal to relax a bit, to be curious. Okay, why is this coming up? Why am I feeling this way? What's going on? And it will start to make more sense and come together. So I just have 2 cards from the Angel Prayers deck to see what's coming in. Okay, the Divine Physician, Archangel Raphael. Thank you, Raphael, for shining your divine light upon my healthy body. Yeah, so again, that energy of just allowing things to come together. I feel like with the healing light and Raphael coming in now, this is a very potent time for you to get your strength back, to get your energy back, to clear things out and just recover. I feel like there's recovery, there's some respite that you need here that will be good for you physically, as well as mentally and emotionally. I feel like you're probably feeling this physically now at this level. Like it's gotten that far. The pent-up energy and emotions has gotten to you physically. So we have peace and harmony, Archangel Raguel. Thank you, Raguel, for surrounding my life in a harmonious light. And I think that's what's coming in for you in this time of healing and relief. You're bringing in harmony. This is a harmonizing, that's what it is. It's a balancing and a harmonizing that's coming in, because you're letting things come together and play out in their own time. And so there is that aspect of like patience, but faith that the universe knows how to get back into balance, and you're just holding that space. You're being the Temperance card. Being like, okay, whatever time, my role is holding the space and knowing that I'm being transformed too. And it's just about being. I hope this is making some sort of sense, pile 3. There is a lot to discover within yourself. Like what's behind the way you think? What's behind your ideas? And it's about not being judgmental of them, not being harsh on yourself. It's about being open and curious, and being okay with being in stillness. So I have one card from the Activations Oracle. So let's see what it has. Okay, prosperity. The frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit sing. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. Yeah. So again, that trust and faith that everything is coming together at every level. And ultimately, that expression of yourself and everything that is available to you, that is what's happening, and what's laying the foundation for more of that joy and celebration and abundance. You are shifting. It is a cycle, a transformative cycle into that place of harmony and everything working together and supporting you at every aspect. So it's just about giving yourself the time and space to release what has been burdening you. Get it out, express it, and then that even just clears out your voice to express truly who you are. In the end, that's what's coming out of this. And yeah, like singing and just, yeah, being your authentic self. Pile 3. Allowing your body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit to sing, to express fully. And it's just like everything coming together and making sense in the end. Again, it's about that understanding. I'd forgotten about that, like the resolution, allowing things to come together in this way. There's a greater understanding and knowing here. Revelations are happening because everything's going to come into harmony within you and without you, like outside of yourself, for this new level of prosperity, for everything to be able to grow. So we just had a Black Moon astrology card come out for you, and this will be your final message. Ooh, Moon, Soul. Okay, let me read from the book. I was feeling you're very intuitive. I think I said that. I hope I did. That I feel you're very connected. So, okay. Moon, Soul. What does your gut say? The moon asks. This card is all about mystery, feeling, and hidden messages. The moon is receptive. It governs intuition and self-protection. Its placement by sign and house indicate those areas to which we are the most emotional or sensitive. The moon represents what is felt instinctively and what is at the core of our emotions. In the astrological chart, the moon is our soul. It shows the intimate side of who we are. The moon represents security, the home we grew up in, and the need to hide away and recoup our energies. Yes. It is the female principle that is darkly moist and yielding. So the moon can signify our relationship with our mothers, as well as pregnancy. It also signifies our grandmothers and even old age, so geriatric issues can arise when this card turns up. Crowds belong to the moon, but also shyness, reticence, and things that occur in darkness. The moon shows how we respond emotionally and what we feel most deeply. Some believe the moon represents who we are in secret, and also memories from and who we were in past lives. The moon is our most innermost selves. About this matter, do not be shy. Allow yourself to shine. This card indicates fluctuations in your life. The moon changes signs every 2.5 days, so 12 different moon combinations mean great variation. But the moon is the side we keep concealed. In a horoscope chart, when the moon has many aspects or is the most elevated planet in the chart, it is considered to have a strong influence. The lunar influence can be indicative of future fame, governing the masses, what is likely to be popular. At this time, you may have trouble controlling your emotions, and you may want to do things that are safe. You are very sensitive, and you must gauge any feelings before entering a room or being with people you don't know. You like working alone, but you are also dependent on how others are responding to you now. The arts and helping professions suit you. You would do well working with persons with mental or emotional problems or anyone who needs counseling. It is also a good time to rely upon your imagination and to pay attention to your dreams. When this card turns up in a reading, all is not as it seems because something is being obscured. You may feel you have lost your direction or that you don't have all the information to go forward. There is much you are sensing, but you may be hesitant to act. It may look as if it is difficult to cut through the fog to get to the real truth of any situation. After growing close to someone, the energy may feel smothering and restrictive. Insecurities may arrive. There may be feelings of paranoia. We love our moon, though. She makes us feel safe, so someone's emotional clinginess may be an issue. The moon tells us to hang on, oftentimes after we should have released things from our lives or just given up. But no, the moon chimes in. Hang in there, you'll win sooner or later. It's important now not to accept any false pictures or misapprehend the truth. The moon card. With the moon card, deception is possible. Things are cloudy right now. It is a good time to open your mind to visions, as well as appreciating women's wisdom and intuition, finding your feminine side and bringing out your visions and talents in a more public way. As shy and tentative as the moon is, she still represents fame and crowds. When you think of the moon card, think mystery, birth, tribes, unanswered questions, and sometimes sudden fame. Someone from your past is about to re-enter your life, and a romance that starts now may be strange yet compelling and even familiar. Pay close attention to the energies that swirl around. It's a good time to rely upon your gut. Yes, absolutely. That's the energy, that kind of mystery, hidden things coming up and swirling around you, and you just feeling into that energy and holding the space, being in that stillness, being curious. That's what you're being called to do at this time of retrograde. Tap into the energy of the moon as well, Pio 3, because you are very intuitive, and I can't help but make the connection between the potential for fame and the influence that you can have when you express yourself in that way, in that artistic or healing way. There's prosperity there. So that is very interesting. And so a lot is happening, even if it doesn't feel like it makes sense at the moment. It will lead to clarity. It will lead to more truth. And it's about you just kind of clearing that space and holding it open for it to happen for you. pile 3. So I hope this reading was helpful for you in some way. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, then hit that subscribe button. I wish you all the best. I give you my love. But until next time, bye, pile 3.